Okay, today's day 3 of my high five habit. Hey, everybody. Um, Today was much better than day 2. Yesterday was just a shitty day, and that's something I have to tell myself as someone who does have deep emotions in all directions. When I'm down, I'm just like, God, and that's everybody, right? When you're kind of feeling in just like in a blah mood, or the opposite, in a good mood. It's like good things happen when you're in a good mood, and vice versa. There's like inertia in like every direction. And I don't know, I just feel my feelings intensely. So down days just like have, God, I can feel this like invisible gray cloud like looming overhead, and something that I'm working on to try to reverse that, or at the very least be okay with not being okay, which has been like a huge thing with my entire sobriety for the past 5 years and state of mind, being okay with not being okay, or whatever my feelings are, to kind of help not be dictated by my mind, by thoughts, and by feelings that are less than desirable. I'm like, okay, I am lucky in the sense that when I do have these negative thoughts and feelings, they usually do not last for multiple days in a row, barring like an actual like family or personal tragedy. Just like an everyday bad day usually does not happen 2 days in a row, and tomorrow's a new day. And that's what I told myself yesterday. Like, okay, I told myself I'm getting this bad day, this funkiness, this ickiness kind of in my soul, kind of getting this bad stuff out of the way now, purging some soul gunk, and tomorrow's a new day. And sure enough, today was good. Day 3 of High Five Habit. Today was a good day. Now, I don't know, man. I don't know. Mel Robbins would say it's high fiving yourself in the mirror. Here's the science to back it up. Mel Robbins would say that it is not just a coincidence that the first day I high fived myself, and the third day when I did it first thing in the morning as instructed, and touched base with myself first thing, started off on that positive note, gave myself a high five, and said, today is going to be good. This is where I'm at. This is the positive things. This is the direction I'm going. I kind of gave myself like a pep talk, touch base with myself in a positive way, positive affirmations right from the get-go. Mel Robbins would say, here's the science to back it up, that leads to success. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a coincidence, but guess what? Yesterday, I forgot to do my high five first thing in the morning. I waited till like late lunch, and I was having a shitty day. So I don't know. Maybe there's a lot more to it. And why not? Why not just say it's the high five? Why not just go with it? Because day 1 and 3 are kicking ass, and I'm doing this thing that seems silly. But maybe that's life. And I cannot stress enough, for me, that's a huge thing with Mel Robbins. She is like a freaking diamond in the rough. She really is, in terms of self-help. I can't stand these fake ass bitches. I can't. I'm just gonna put a hair negativity out there and just be as brutally honest. I feel like a lot of them are full of crap. Mel Robbins is not one of them. You can say a lot of things about Mel Robbins, but phony, disingenuous, you can't say that. She's as real as it comes, and I like that. That's what I need. Like, God, please give me some authenticity. Her and Cheryl Strayed, as I've said before, I don't really look at Cheryl Strayed as a self-help, so I haven't been talking about her a lot as much recently. She's just like, God, a literary, raw, real angel. I freaking love her as well. But when it comes to self-help, Mel Robbins just as real as can be, and not just real. She's real in a real way. You know what I mean? My God, there are some like Chrissy Teigen, and they're real in a phony way. They are. A lot of people think that just being rude, being a smartass, being just a negative Nancy, just a piece of crap human, honestly, or just being a straight up bitch, it's like, oh, that makes you real. And it's like, no, that just makes you an asshole. Not Mel Robbins. She's real in in a genuine way that cuts through the BS. And it's like, hey, I need help. This is what I say. I need help living. I have failed miserably. My mind is a freaking war zone. It is a wreck. And Mel Robbins has said, in your mind, you're behind enemy lines when you're stuck in your head. And I'm like, ain't that the damn truth? So I'm not trying to be like a crazy creeper fan. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be real with this video, because I don't know, day 3, it's working, you know? And that's what, as I was saying, what life is. It's finding a way to do the things that you want to do, the things that you know how to do, that you need to do so you can be the person that you want to be and are here to be, you know? And she really has a way of filling that gap. And that's what I think the high five habit, the 5-second rule, all of these little things, not even talk about Mel Robbins, but just anything with self-help, any type of plan or an action, a practice, right? All of these practices and things are just help, you know, they all work, is what I'm saying. It's just like you have to find, you have to find what works for you. And just some really practical ways of like steps or things, practical practices for being and implementing the person that I want to be, you know? And that's amazing, because my head, I cannot, in a nutshell, I could not stand being stuck in my head. I could not freaking stand it, and I couldn't get out of it. And that's dangerous when you are prone to rumination, when you are prone to anxiety, self-destruction, and just feeling like you're not really measuring up or able to measure up with your peers, with your co-workers, with freaking everybody else in life. And you can't get stuck. That's your resting state, and you can't get out of your head. That is a dangerous place to be, you know? That is why I just ran to everything external. You know, I could not get enough accolades. You know, I just couldn't get enough compliments. I couldn't get enough praise. As I've said before, I could never feel like I was good enough to be good. And so then when I turned to drugs and substances, and just really leaned in more than ever into my codependency and anxious attachment style and love addiction, when I did that as a college senior, for the first year senior, when I was 21, when I really just leaned into chaos and addiction as hard as I could go. It was just like trying to exist in cognizant life in my head. It was because my mind was such a freaking battlefield. You know, I could never be good enough to be good. And then when I just went off the deep end and just made the conscious decision to jump headfirst off of a cliff, I was like, if this is the only bit of autonomy that I can have, and that's how it felt, was to do this take these extreme actions, I had to do it. And then it's like, man, after 13 years of addiction and just chaos, I could never be like bad enough to be happy. And I just wanted to be okay. Couldn't be good enough to be good. Could not be bad enough to be happy. I wanted to be okay. And now that, when I really decided to change my life, I realized pretty early on that it wasn't about really getting sober in the way that it is marketed and the way that it's sold. It's not about like flushing the drugs out of my system, you know, passing a urinalysis test saying, hey, I'm sober. You know, nobody that is able to maintain sobriety, you can't want to get sober just so you can say, hey, I'm sober now. You know, being sober is not the end goal. The end goal is to not want to poison yourself and use in the first place. And sobriety is a natural like byproduct of being in that end goal state of managing like the every chaotic and feeling of unworthiness and just all that gunk in your mind or in your past or whatever, getting tackling everything that led to addiction and codependency in a life of chaos in the first place, answering what led you to use to excess. Like I've said before, that's really like been the biggest thing for me in sobriety is a byproduct of of having that, being able to live with myself, um because it's like at the end of the day you have to like answer honestly, like, did I get sober for this? Is this enough? Is this it? Is this going to work? Is this what I got sober for? A life of just like subpar mediocrity, just like having like a dickhead boss and a family that can't stand you, and just if you don't like take charge of your life, then why in the hell wouldn't you want to use, And that's why I relapsed when I did in my early 30s. And it led to like the most intense, destructive relapse of my life. And I barely got out of that relapse with my life. It was years of chaos. And so, anyway, to wrap things up, you know, I really appreciate having a practice that just starts off the day with touch and base with myself. That's huge, and I think it's really like working, and it feels right. And going back to, I need everything I can get that is practical, that is a way for me to kind of touch base with myself, manage my mind, and start the day off from like, okay, talking to myself as somebody that I actually like respect and want good things for. That's huge. And just giving that high five, man, like day 3, this is like a winner. This is something that I think is really successful. So we'll see how day 4 goes. But today was a good day. And I mean, why not? If it's because of the high five, habit, and high fiving myself in the mirror, and kind of doing some affirmations and really having my day start off in that positive mindset, self-love, and like deliberate, you know, that's great. So why not? Why wouldn't it be that? So good things. Today was a good day. Y'all have a good night.